Okay guys, welcome to a new video. Today I will be reviewing the, first off, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a toy review. And the reason, I don't really have a reason. I've been really into those Godzilla pitches. I've been doing the MonsterVerse movie ideas series, so since I'm not gonna pump those out every 5 seconds, I think it makes sense to go back to doing toy reviews. Yeah. So today is a kind of a random one, but I'm going to be reviewing the Godzilla from, let's just try to play on that more. The Godzilla from Godzilla the Ride and the Godzilla from Godzilla -1. These two Bandais have something in common. They were both designed and movies were made for both of these Godzillas by Takashi Yamazaki. And yeah, here are my opinions on Godzilla -1. I loved it. Still think it's the best Godzilla movie. It's probably not the best to me, but I can definitely say it's probably the objectively just an incredible movie. Still like the Kiryu Saga more, but it's still a really good movie though. But yeah, Godzilla the Ride is awesome. So yeah, these two figures are kind of grails to me. Like, I have been wanting the Godzilla the Ride figure for a while now. And Godzilla from Godzilla -1 I got for Christmas last year. And at that time, I got both of these figures for Christmas. That Christmas, it was awesome. And yeah, I love these figures. I love how Takashi designs his version of Godzilla. It's just like, you can tell that he designed a monster when you see it. So I find that really cool about him. But yeah, these two figures, I've wanted this guy for a while, for years. And this guy I got again. The guy's got for Christmas. I'm done. But yeah, yeah, I love the movie. Let's get on with chronologically. We should get on with
later.
It's not gonna work. Godzilla from Godzilla the Ride. Yeah, Godzilla the Ride. Godzilla. It is really awesome. I wish the lighting was better, but what can you do? The color is like a greenish black. And its eyes, I think its eyes are white on this figure. They're like white. Probably can't see that. Yeah, its eyes are white. So yeah, that's that. I think the coloring's really cool. I love how they painted its toes brown. Probably can't see that. I'm not sure if you can. It's really hard to do that, but trust me, they're painted brown. So yeah, really great design for a Godzilla. I love its bulky arms. I love the dorsal fins. Honestly, I like this design more than the -1 Godzilla. Which is kind of blasphemy to say, but that's how I feel, man. You know, like, I just love this design. But yeah, the hands are really much like a bear. It's you can probably see I don't know. But yeah, they're like a bear, and I love it. I love this design. Can't say that enough. It is really cool. His arms can articulate. He can move 360, which is pretty sick. His foot can also move 360, but I can't really show it because I'm only using one arm. So yeah, and I love the dorsal fins. The dorsal fins are really cool. The tail's awesome. It's just awesome seeing. It's just really cool. Like the tags are always awesome to see. Really bland tag on this one though. Try to my god, really bland tag on this one, but it's still cool. It's a one of a kind basically, so it's awesome. I really want to get the Ghidorah Bandai, like from Godzilla the Ride. But Godzilla the Ride is a ride in Japan. Forgot what park it's at, but it stars this Godzilla. It's directed by the guy who directed Godzilla -1, and Godzilla fights King Ghidorah in it. And it has a lot of inspirations from Godzilla King of the Monsters. So, yeah, that's that. The figure's really cool. I'm gonna try. Okay, you can see his feet are kind of brown. I am really obsessed with trying to show you guys his feet. I don't know. But yeah, this figure is great. I think it's really awesome. So that's that for that guy. Let's get on with Godzilla -1. Boom, yeah, Godzilla -1. I just recently watched the Myas color version. It was really good. It's not. I don't think it's as good as the original version, but it's still awesome. Also, the original version, like the one that's in color, looks better. It's in 4K, so of course it's gonna be better to me. I think here's my quick review of Myas color. I get what they're trying to do, trying to make it look like an older film, but I think Godzilla -1, what that movie excels at is its beautiful colors. I think the film had a really great style, and I think that kind of trying to make it something it's not. Like, yeah, it is the 54 Godzilla in terms of its story and stuff, but I think it's stylistically, it's very different from the original Godzilla. So I think if you're trying to make it more like that, yeah, it looks scarier in some shots, but I think it kind of loses a little bit of the beauty of the film because the colors are so vibrant. Even with its dark tone, it looks beautiful. So that's my opinion. I don't think Myas color is as good as people say it is. I think the definitive version is Godzilla -1. Like the original cut. That's the definitive version to watch, to me. But yeah, the figure. I got this guy for Christmas, along with this guy, of course, and I told you guys that. But yeah, I still remember opening this guy for Christmas. It was awesome. I also have the 12-inch version, the Monster King series, and I'll review that sometime else. Bigger figures are kind of harder to do, though, because first off, they're kind of too big for my desk, which is really surprising. But yeah, man, they're kind of really big for my desk. So yeah, but Godzilla -1 is a great movie. Now, this figure is probably one of the best Bandais they've ever made. That's saying a lot because they make some pretty sick Bandais, I think. So yeah, let's go on. Show you his mouth. You probably can't see that. Again, really awkward shots because of my physical disability. Yeah, it looks good. So I can't really get this
5 minutes later.
I don't know, man. But yeah, there you go. But yeah, like the detail looks really nice. I really like the gray, like the gray coloring, the brownish gray. I always loved that about this version of Godzilla. It looks very classic, like the Heisei Godzilla. Without the fangs, I probably would have loved to see the fangs. He does have like a one small fang, like I can't see it though, but it's there. It's like a smaller fang. Focus. I don't know how
2,000 years
to
later.
make it focus, but trust me, he has a fucking like big tooth there. So yeah, I love how the toes are brown or gray, more gray on this one though. But yeah, it's awesome. The tag is way better than the Godzilla the Ride. It is awesome. And yeah, let's do the articulation. Oh my god. Oh yeah, articulation. Again, the same as the same as Ride Bandai. Also, the tail moves, but I don't really want to move it just in case it's not supposed to move. But yeah, you probably can't see his face now. It's really. Let's see if it works better over here. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like there. Looks really good. Yeah. Now let's do a little bit of a story time because story time because of this movie Godzilla Minus One is my very first Toho Godzilla film in theaters, and I will never forget that. It was an incredible experience. I'm not sure if it's as fun as when I first saw Godzilla 2014, just because that was my first Godzilla film in general in theaters. But this one comes the closest any Godzilla film I've seen in theaters has come. So yeah, it's a great movie. It was very dark, emotional, serious. What a dark Godzilla film should be, and I loved, as a fan of Godzilla Tokyo SOS and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, I loved that it basically has kind of the same structure as those two films, just in a 40s setting with a very dark tone. And I love that. I think it's a great idea to do that with Godzilla. I always find that way to have a more human, personal story. Like, it's always awesome that when they give the person a vendetta against Godzilla or a trauma-induced thing with Godzilla. I always loved that about when they did that with the character, and I think that it works really well here. Yeah, I think the film's awesome. I think I've watched it like 7 times so far, which is not as much as Godzilla x Kong. I still think Godzilla x Kong is the most rewatchable Godzilla film ever. It's a really fun watch, and I recently watched Godzilla vs Kong, and that film's fun too. That film still holds up. So yeah, I think the film's great. So all of the Godzilla films are great. In my opinion, I definitely think the GXK is not as good as Godzilla Minus One, and I definitely understand why some people are kind of like, this isn't the MonsterVerse anymore. I definitely understand, but I've kind of accepted it. It's just the way it is. It's Godzilla being Godzilla. Godzilla has always had its series go down a path that's not what the vision was before. It's always done that with every Godzilla series, as much as it's not
2,000 years later.
On purpose. It's definitely there. It happens with every Godzilla series, except for the Heisei series. And I think that's why that series is the best Godzilla series, because in terms of its structure, because the Heisei Godzilla series is just has the best ending out of any of the Godzilla eras. I do think the MonsterVerse can become that, though. I just think it's going to be really hard, though, for it after GXK. kind of made it really cheesy, but also I do think that they can go back to a dark tone. It's that's what Godzilla is. They always go a little goofy other and then they go back to being serious. The Showa series did it, and again the Heisei series did it. So it's one of those things. The Millennium series is the only one that had an actual consistently good movies, because that era was an anthology series, meaning they can get away with having tones all over the place. But I do agree that
2,000 years later.
that Godzilla X Kong does feel kind of like a departure from the earlier MonsterVerse, but I still love it. It's still fun, and I still appreciate what Godzilla X Kong did for showing people that you can have a Godzilla or Kong story where it's mostly kaiju scenes. Probably didn't do that completely. It probably didn't shuffle people completely, but I definitely think it helped with that kind of thing, with showing that you can have a Godzilla or Kong story with just the monsters, and it'll be great. Honestly, for me, I think both types of filmmaking, of kaiju filmmaking, are great. Because remember this, War of the Gargantuas is a great film, and that film had that same idea, with Gaira and Sanda kind of being the main characters and the emotional point of the film. And I think that was the first real film that had that kind of idea. And Godzilla X Kong kind of takes the most from that structure of film, it, to me at least, it does. And honestly, I think Adam Wingard, if he has the opportunity to make a standalone kaiju film, I think he'll do a really good job with a War of the Gargantuas film. I think he would do a great job at that. Though I do not understand what D-Man 1954 said, where he wants John Carpenter to make it, which I'm 100 down. I'm 100% down with that. I think that'd be a cool idea if John Carpenter directed the film. So yeah, that's my victory review and my thoughts on the landscape of Godzilla right now. I love the series, and I honestly don't care if we have a bad film here and there, because it's still Godzilla. Like, I will always appreciate Godzilla, even when it's at its worst. Even Godzilla 1998, I still really like that movie, even with all of its flaws, and it's still a bad movie, okay? I still think Godzilla 1998 is a bad movie, but it's definitely not, like, bad as, like, I think the characters in it are actually likable. The guy who played as Homer Simpson in The Simpsons played as the camera guy, and I love him in that movie. He is, like, so funny and cute. So yeah, Godzilla 1998 is a good movie, okay? It's not the best. It's definitely one of the worst Godzilla films, but I still like it. And it's probably also even not a good kaiju film, but still, I love it. It is fun. Okay? There.
Damn!
Yeah. Yeah, guys. That's my review. See you guys later. And have a great day.